Hey guys, Omar here, the Knife Shark, coming to you live once again with another Kershaw Discontinued review. Again, I do these reviews regularly on these old knives, just so we can take a look at the evolution of what Kershaw has done in the past, comparing to what they've done now. So what we have in front of us are two Kershaw knives called the Kershaw Boa, designed by Ken Onion. They're both roughly the same. This is the Kershaw Boa, multicolored Boa, with CPM 440V steel. That's old school steel. And then over here we have the Kershaw Boa Ken Onion design in S30V steel. And we're going to go ahead and go over these two knives. This one I got just today. I'm so excited. I got this one today in the mail. Really happy that I got that. I got a really good price for it. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about these knives. Like I said, this knife is in 440 V steel. That's another thing too, when you collect these discontinued knives, some of the steels no longer exist, or you get to look at the evolution of steels, where they've been, where they're going, and what's happening. And the changes in steel on knives, they're happening even today. Zero Tolerance has decided to go strictly CV20, CPM CV20 on all their high-end knives. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. But they seem to keep changing the steels over. But anyhow, both these knives were released and available between 2003 to 2007, I believe, the Kershaw Boa. It's a flipper knife, and there were a lot of things that were on knives before that they don't do anymore. A lot of things they've done that didn't make any sense, or maybe they were still figuring out how to do them, whatever. That's one of the main reasons why I collect these knives, so let's go ahead and get into it. First thing you'll notice about these knives is the flipper when you're using them. They're kind of sluggish. They're not like what you feel today. When you get a Kershaw knife today, or a ZT knife today that's a spring-assisted blade, which is what these are spring-assisted knives, and you press the spring assist, the knife gives you that real hard kick out. You know, you get a big kick on the knife. That's not these knives. These knives do not kick out quite what you're used to feeling. They're kind of sluggish. I don't know why they made them that way. Maybe they were using different springs at the time, or different torsion bars, who knows. But like I said, this is the early 2000s, when spring assists were kind of becoming popular. So, you know, and at the time, also keep in mind, at the time, Ken Onion at Kershaw was really their premier designer. They were just recruiting other designers at that time to come and make knives, but he was like the king designer over at Kershaw. In the late 90s, early 2000s, up to like 2007, when they were still recruiting designers. He was the main guy that they went to. He actually designed, I'm going to say, at least 60% of their knives over at Kershaw in the early 2000s. So let's take a look at the knives. I'll stop rambling. Quite a few things on the knife that's interesting. First of all, one thing they did on these knives that you don't see very often anymore, in fact, I don't think I see them anymore, is on both these knives there's a lock to prevent the knife from accidentally opening, which is something that you don't see all that often. If you look right there, there's a lock right there. See it? The way it works is you push the lock up and you can't open the knife. You can't even deploy it. It will not open. Push it back down. Now you got an opening knife, and they work that way for both knives. They had the same lock on the S30V version knife right there. Another thing to point out are the thumb studs on the knife. Today they do double thumb studs. Back then, for some reason, they didn't do them, or maybe this is just a Ken Onion quirk. I don't know, but they just have one thumb stud on one side, and the other side there is no thumb stud. What you do is, if you look at the knife, there's a screwdriver, or you put a little Phillips head right there. You can unscrew the knife, flip it over from this side and put it onto that side, And then you got yourself a left-handed knife instead of the double thumb stud deal. And this is a liner lock. I keep forgetting to the features, but both these knives are liner locks with aluminum scales, and they are of fairly high quality. That's another thing too. You're missing a lot of things on some of these discontinued knives, but the quality of the knives, as far as the materials and the attention to detail and things like that, they worked on these like they were premium knives, I find, in a lot of ways. They feel heavier, they feel premium. They're just, I don't know, they just had a different feel to them. Finally, again, I wanted to mention the flipper, just because this is kind of weird. I think I should mention this too on the flipper. The location of the flipper is weird on this knife, if I could just say that. If you notice, it's almost it's almost like 75% down on the bottom of the knife. I'm used to having the flipper be way up a little bit on some of the knives. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's my ZT-0801. See that? See where the flippers are located? Here the flipper is way up there, so it's easy access, and then you're ready to go. It's a little awkward with the Kershaw Boa. What I find happening is I flip the knife, and then I have to kind of shift my hand up. It's not ready to grab and ready to use. So not that it's actually a tactical knife, but I mean, if I were to press on it, I still have to shift my hand up to get it ready to be using it. And that I'm not crazy about. But that's how they did things, or that's how the knife was designed, and that's why I collect these things, so I can see what they did and what's going on and why. So once again, this is the Kershaw Boa. Like I said, it's all aluminum scales on both of these. They're not titanium, it's aluminum scales. This one's DLC black coated. And this one's not. It's got that two-tone on it. Take a better look at let's give you a better shot at the knife. I like that blade shape, I think is really nice on it. It's pretty straightforward. It's not too funky. Very practical. Plus it looks handsome too. I mean, the shape of the handle and everything on both knives, they look fantastic. I mean, like I said, these are the same, but they're different. This one's CPM 440V, old school steel. This one is S30V. There is a third knife. That's the S60V, and yes, I am planning on getting that one. I don't know when, but I'll be getting it to complete this mini collection. And there's also a fourth knife. I'm going to do a different video on that one. So anyway, there you have it, the Kershaw Boa. Model numbers are 1580. This one's the 1580 MC. This one's the 1580. Kershaw Boa, designed by Ken Onion, released between 2003 and 2007. That's when they were still available. And this is Omar signing off, and I will be back with another discontinued Kershaw knife. This is Omar, the Knife Shark. Happy hunting, all of you guys. Enjoy your knives. Have a good day. Over and out.